All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live in the Wellness Garden. I am so excited for today's activity. This is something we've never done here before. And all I got to say is that this might be really useful for you if you are looking to grow some mushrooms and you really like to eat mushrooms. Because we are going to be talking about propagating mushrooms today using existing spawn. So like if you have like a friend with a mushroom bed, or if you already have mushroom spawn, or you bought some and you want to stretch it out further, then this method is for you. We're going to be using cardboard. So the basic idea is, we're going to be taking like existing like mushrooms that like you've grown, or that mushrooms like starter that you've purchased, and we're going to be multiplying it using cardboard. That's why we have all this cardboard right here. And we've been collecting this cardboard over the past week so we can use it for this purpose. So before we get down to it, and here's Matthew, he's helping us out. So before we get down to it, you kind of have to understand like mushroom biology and how mushrooms grow and propagate. So the mushrooms that you're used to like seeing like coming up out of the ground or like eating at the grocery store are actually the fruit of the mushroom itself, right? Of the fungus. So it is the reproductive structure that the fungus uses to release spores into the environment, and the spores will then land when they land in favorable conditions where there's the right temperature, the right humidity, the right level of sunlight, and a food source, usually a material that is very high in cellulose and lignin, such as wood. Those spores will germinate and you'll have a new fungus. But like many plants, fungi can also propagate themselves vegetatively. They can clone themselves. And you can do this you can propagate them vegetatively essentially by taking like fragments of the body of the fungus itself, which is called the mycelium. So mycelium is a spiderwebby looking material that is actually the body of the fungus itself, right? And it is composed of these teeny tiny little filaments that are each one cell thick, called hyphae. And so we can use this mycelium to propagate mushrooms by placing it on a material that mushrooms feed off of, again, high in cellulose and lignin, and by creating the right conditions for that fungus to then grow. So like plenty of moisture, darkness, and the right temperature range. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And so we have this really abundant material that our society produces that is very high in cellulose and lignin that is perfect for propagating mushrooms. And that material is cardboard. It's very easy to get. It's everywhere, of course, and we literally got this material by going to a local store and asking them for some of their leftover cardboard that they were using, that came from Christmas supplies they were stocking their shelves with. So it's very cheap to do this. It costs us nothing. And we also happen to have a source of mushroom mycelium right here. Here we are. We got 3 bags of this stuff. I got it from my other job where I am doing some mushroom beds, and we're going to use it to propagate the mushrooms. And it's very easy to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of like wrap up this mushroom mycelium into these logs, kind of like how you wrap up a cinnamon roll. And then we're just going to bury it and then leave it for a couple, maybe like a month or 2. And then we'll be able to retrieve it and then cut it up into pieces and then use it to inoculate the entire wellness garden. We'll probably have plenty of extra stuff, which we might be giving out to the community as well. So check back in, come visit the wellness garden if you're interested in getting some mushroom spawn at some point in the future. We'll be posting announcements and providing updates on the live stream. It is getting warm, so I'm going to take off my sweatshirt. 1 second. I was expecting to be chilly today.
A hole in the bucket.
Oh, there's a hole in there? Why don't you get that big trash can then? Alrighty. So here we are. We got our workstation set up. Sorry, my hair is a bit messy. So we've got our workstation set up right here. And we have all this cardboard. So it's pretty wet. You want it to be fully saturated, right? So what we did was we pretty much just like left it out in the rain because we got plenty of rain recently, about just over an inch. Yeah, this is not fully saturated, I can tell. Yeah, we're gonna need to soak this stuff. See, it has to be completely saturated, because when it's completely saturated, the adhesive will come off, and you'll be able to. Well, the adhesive is weakened, and you'll actually be able to peel the cardboard apart, and that's what we want. So we're gonna need to soak this a bit more. And why don't we pour this in here? This water looks a bit dirty. I think we should get fresh water. We should rinse that out really good because we did JMS in there. We don't want it to become like infected. Maybe we should get the soap.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, would you mind grabbing the Castile soap? Do you know where it is?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna try peeling apart what we can right now. We're gonna do our best to maintain a clean environment for this because we want to minimize the risk of contamination with local wild fungi, which can interfere with the propagation of our mushrooms. And I'm also going to put these guys down in the shade so they don't heat up too much, because that can kill them. Yeah, mushrooms like cool, moist, dark conditions. That's their preferred environment. And that's great because if you have a really shady area in your garden where you can't really grow many vegetables, it's an ideal location to grow mushrooms. And so basically what you do after you are able to propagate this mushroom spawn using cardboard and create this mushroom spawn is you can use it to inoculate, as we call it, mushroom beds. So for oyster mushrooms, which we'll be doing today, you can do these beds outdoors, and they do just fine. In fact, the place where I got this mushroom spawn there's probably like 20 pounds of mushrooms being produced right now, available for harvest right now. 20 to 30 pounds of mushrooms in a space like maybe 3 times the size of this table. So mushroom beds are very prolific. They yield extremely abundantly, and once you get a mushroom bed started, as long as you keep it fed with wood chips, it'll produce for many, many years. Yeah, this needs to be more moist. Yeah, I thought that just leaving out in the rain would be enough, but we actually want to like fully saturate it and soak it. So while Matthew is getting soap to wash out this trash can that we brought over here, because we're going to be using that to soak. We're going to be using that to soak the cardboard. I'm going to hose this stuff off on the table. Yeah, if you have any questions, drop them into the chat. I'll be checking periodically, including right now. So yeah, that's how you propagate mushrooms. We're going to show you guys how to do it. Very easy, and I would say like the best species to grow for a beginner would be the oyster mushrooms. The variety of oyster mushrooms that we are going to be propagating today are called Italian oyster mushrooms. And the reason why we've selected Italian oyster mushrooms is because they are well adapted to the temperature and humidity extremes of a Mediterranean climate, which is the type of climate we have here in Southern California. I have tried other kinds of mushrooms before, like for example the King Stropharia wine cap mushrooms. That is probably one of the most popular mushrooms that is grown in vegetable gardens alongside vegetables. But this is really a temperate climate mushroom, and it doesn't do quite as well in our Mediterranean climate where we have those hot, long, dry summers. The Italian oyster mushrooms thrive here, and they can establish and even supposedly fruit in 100-degree weather. So great mushroom for our environment. So what we're doing right now is we are cleaning out this trash can that we are going to use to soak the mushroom spawn. We are using, you don't need to use that much, a little bit goes a long way. We are using unscented Castile soap. This is the Dr. Bronner's brand. I'll show you this stuff. And this will help to disinfect the barrel. It's not like a very powerful disinfectant, but it'll at least help to clean out maybe some of the native molds and other fungi that may be inhabiting the barrel, because their spores will be on there, and those spores could very easily germinate inside of our mushroom logs, which we don't want. So we'll at least wash those out and get the microbial loads within the barrel to be a bit lower than they are. And the cool thing about the Castile soap is that it is completely non-toxic, completely safe to release into the environment. So when we're done, we can just dump it out. Let me see. So yeah, now that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of roll it. Sorry. is going to roll it, get all of it out that way, and coat the barrel on the inside with the soap. Yeah, we want to avoid getting it on our cardboard if at all possible. But we'll hose this stuff down, so it'll be fine. So yeah. So we want the cardboard to be fully saturated, and then we just need to rinse the soap out of this. So mushrooms are super cool. They are part of a class of soil organisms that are members of the soil food web called saprotrophs. At least many of them are. Most of the ones that we typically eat are saprotrophs or saprophytes. They digest and decompose decaying plant material. We can fill it up with water now. And they especially like extremely high carbon material that are once again rich in cellulose and lignin. So in composting lingo, all of your browns. They are big fans of your browns. And as far as like growing them out, once you have your mushroom spawn logs, straw works well. Wood chips work extremely well. I would say that like fall and autumn leaves would work well as a substrate too for your mushrooms. But the best one is definitely going to be wood chips since they're the highest in lignin. So I think what we'll do is we'll soak some of the cardboard and we'll also wet some of the cardboard while it's on the table with the hose. So I'm going to start laying out some more cardboard. I'm going to go put this sweatshirt somewhere so it doesn't get soaked. And this stuff right here should already be good. I think we just want to like wet it a little bit more. But we do want it to be like totally saturated with water like this. I'll probably also rinse or like dust off the cardboard because there's like some decomposed granite stuck to it. So yeah, we'll start laying it out. And the stuff that is ready, I'm going to start making a stack of it over here as far as like peel off because we want to be able to like separate it like so. Although I'm not sure if we really need to separate it. We could do some like fully separated, we could do some that hasn't been separated and just like saturated. But it's like an experiment. We'll see which ones work better. Because this is our first time doing this, but I know this method works. It's been done many times. So yeah, we're gonna break this up and then we'll make it into these piles and we'll soak it. This one is nice and saturated, so I'm going to pull this one apart. It's surprising how much it takes to wet cardboard. But yeah, so we'll show you guys the mushroom spawn itself in a moment. But as I was saying, mushrooms will break down decaying organic matter, especially organic matter that is extremely woody. When you start a mushroom bed, what you'll do is you'll take your mushroom spawn that you've either purchased or created, you'll layer it in, right? You'll do like a layer of wood chips 2 to 4 inches thick or whatever your substrate is, then a layer of your mushroom spawn, then another layer of your substrate 2 to 4 inches thick, and then just layer it a couple of times and then you moisten it super well. And so what will happen is the mycelium will grow out, it'll send out more hyphae and grow out into the substrate. And then eventually when conditions are right, the fungus will produce fruit, which we can then harvest and eat. We typically harvest up to 80% of the fruit and let the rest release spores into the environment so that the mushrooms can repropagate themselves within the bed and spread themselves throughout the garden. Now when it comes to oyster mushrooms in particular, They are really good because they are able to cleanse the soil of soil-borne toxins, like for example heavy metals, petroleum. They'll sequester them. They can actually like decompose like the hydrocarbons found in gasoline and diesel and other petroleum products, and they can also sequester and bind heavy metals within their tissues. So if you have a heavy metal issue in your garden, then you could grow mushrooms for a couple years and pick the mushrooms and discard them, and that may reduce heavy metal concentrations in your soil. But they can also cleanse the soil of soil-borne nematodes, which the parasitic nematodes, which are a common soil-borne pest, as we say, pest, that attacks many kinds of vegetable crops. And we have a big nematode problem here in the Wellness Garden. We have not been able to address the nematode problem by growing indigenous microorganisms, so we are going to try mushrooms, oyster mushrooms. The oyster mushrooms will actually actively hunt the nematodes, ensnare them, and then digest them by essentially making these structures out of their hyphae that act as traps for the nematodes. And then once the nematodes are caught in these traps, the nematodes will be digested by the mushroom. It'll release digestive enzymes into the nematode, and then it'll suck all the nutrients out.
Is halfway good or you want full?
Halfway is perfect. And these are definitely still a bit dry, but that's okay. All right, we back? We are back. Sorry about that, y'all. My phone overheated, even in this cool weather. So I'm gonna keep it in the shade now. Yeah, it's super cool, huh, Frida? Nice to see you here. Come visit sometime. I'll give you a mushroom spawn log when these are ready. I'm sure up in Oregon, the oyster mushrooms will be so happy. Especially with all the hot weather you guys will be getting in the summer. This variety in particular. When it comes to our cardboard material that we can use, we want to use a cardboard that does not contain any form of like artificial dyes, right? A lot of the dyes that are used in cardboard are like vegetable dyes, like the black dyes, for example. And I think even some of these colored dyes are vegetable dyes, and those are totally fine. But we don't want to have any like synthetic dyes. We don't want to have any like plastic on it, so like no laminated cardboard, no super colorful cardboard, just plain old cardboard, because that's going to be the least contaminated material. The adhesives that are used to bind together the cardboard are not a problem, but like tape, for example, stronger adhesives that may be on the cardboard, you want to remove as much of that as you can. Is it soaking all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that this cardboard is fully saturated with water when we use it. And I think we have just about enough prepared to make our first mushroom log. Spawn log, I should say. Because some mushrooms actually cannot be grown in wood chip beds. Oyster mushrooms are very adaptable, and they can be grown just by like building essentially a pile of wood chips in your garden as I described. But there are others, such as shiitakes, what else? Like the wood's ear mushrooms and chicken of the woods that I believe that need to actually be grown on logs. And there's a different method for growing mushrooms on logs that we will not be covering right now. Perhaps that is something we could do in a future live, starting some mushroom logs. I think it would be super, super cool to grow like some shiitake mushrooms. Can I get those? I think it would be super cool to grow some shiitake mushrooms, but we need to get some logs for that. Like some of those gourmet mushrooms really need. Let's do this. Some of those gourmet mushrooms need to be grown on logs.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Is the water off?
Not.
mean, it doesn't seem like we're losing pressure. Can you check the other hose faucet? It might be, PPM might be having issues with the water again. So yeah, we're going to saturate these as best as we can, given that we have water issues now. But yeah, we'll be soaking the cardboard in here. I think I'm just going to reposition this. Is it just a pressure issue?
Yeah, it's not pressure.
It's just not enough pressure?
Yeah, it's just not enough pressure.
Okay. Yeah, but when you actually, you can grow the mushrooms, I believe, on just cardboard too, but you'll probably have better luck with growing them on wood chips. Yeah, this is perfect. This is nice and wet now. So I'd say to make this more efficient, we should like do that. Fold it up and then just like bury it in there. Just like submerge it in there, I should say.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to peel it apart. I'm not sure if that's the most efficient method. We just might want to wrap it. I'm trying to get a feel for this methodology too.
Don't we peel just because it's thinner layers?
Thinner layers and you'll get more surface area. So that might produce better results, but it may not be necessary. It feels unnecessary to me. Unless it's like really thick cardboard. So in a minute we're going to make our first, I think peeling it in half like this is pretty good. Like if you could just peel it once. Yeah, that's pretty good. Because then it's not too thick, you know? And I'd say like, are we still, as long as we have water. Yeah, it's just low pressure for some reason. Which is fine, you know, we can work with low pressure. It's probably better then because we'll use less water. Yeah, so folding it up, submerging it, that seems to be the best way to go. And since we already have this bucket right here that has like dirty water in it, we could use that to rinse it off. That's good in there.
Alright.
I think that's a good methodology. We're developing a workflow here.
How we roll.
It's how we roll. You know, we try and develop efficient workflows. It's been busy here in the wellness garden. We just got a big delivery of green manure the other day that we're going to use to feed our beds through all the way into spring, early summer, of some of the landscaping trees around here. Some of the folks from PPM who are trimming the trees were so kind as to give us some material, some of this green manure we can use to feed our beds from the nitrogen fixing trees around here. Yeah, these are nice and soft. So we can start making our logs then. I still want to keep these out of the sun for now, but so here's our spawn. So I'll tell you the material you want to use. So you can use material from an existing mushroom bed that is full of the mycelium. So that's what this is here. You can see, yeah, these got hot. It's hard to see, but there's lots of mycelium on here. So we can use that. Or you can use, like when you harvest the mushrooms, you can use the end of the mushroom and the part where the mushroom, the stem butt as they call it, the portion of the mushroom that emerged out of the mushroom bed and has the mycelium growing out of the end of it. That's probably the best material to use for this kind of, for this, but you could also just use like material from the mushroom bed itself. So we're going to begin doing this now. Try and clean our workspace off of it. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Nice and soaked. Nice and saturated. So I was able to get 3 bags of this material, so we're going to be able to make plenty of these logs. Move this. Can you fetch me the hose in a moment? Yeah. I just want to clear off our workspace. Having a clean workspace is important. You don't want to get a bunch of like dirt and dust and stuff in there because that could again contaminate it and then reduce the quality of your product or maybe even cause it to fail. There we go. We at least do have water, so
Better than nothing.
better than nothing. I'm going to reposition the camera a bit. Yeah, oyster mushrooms are awesome. They are so delicious and they are so easy to grow. So yeah, we're going to start out, I think I'm going to start out with one of these full-size pieces. This one looks like it still needs to be soaked a bit. This cardboard dries off so fast. Or you know what? We could use these thicker pieces for the outside. I think that'll be good. So yeah, I'm going to grab one of these. Probably start with a larger one. Like so. It's nice and wet. Buckets full, sweet. Try and get one that's kind of like regularly shaped. This works. So we'll start like that. Sticking to itself, unfortunately. There we are. And so we want about a 4-to-1 ratio of our mushroom starter material to our cardboard. To cardboard to starter material. So we want about 4 parts cardboard to 1 part mushroom spawn. So you can see we'll break it up as best as we can. Again, think in terms of surface area to volume ratio here. That's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to maximize the surface area to volume ratio in here. To maximize the contact between the mushroom starter and the cardboard. So that's probably like a bit too much. There we go, that's good. So we'll do that, and then we can put another layer. Maybe what we'll do is we'll make it a bit longer. There we go, that's a good sized piece. So we'll put that on top, do it again, and like try and compress it down pretty good. And oh yeah, here's a bit of an oyster mushroom that made it in there. We can put that in there if we want. It's probably starting to make spores, so. And we do want to compress it, we just don't want to like squish it too much. So we'll do another layer. And this is some really good mycelium in here. Try and get those leaves out that made their way in there. Probably this one, probably one more, and we can think about rolling it up. All right, there we are. Now very carefully, we're going to roll it up. Unfortunately, this cardboard is tearing a bit, so I think the thin pieces are not the move. There we are. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take some of this. This is a bit of a thicker piece. I'm going to roll it up in that. We want to provide a buffer between the mushroom spawn and any molds and other fungi that might be present in the environment. So we're going to cover it up really good with some fresh uninoculated cardboard to create this barrier. Fortunately, we're dealing with some smaller bits right here. So we want to like kind of cover the inside too. I think we could probably use this stuff. The ends. We want to cover the ends too. So we need to make sure that we have that buffer so that these logs, these spawn logs, don't become contaminated with our local biology. And the more The less contamination you have, the better spawn you'll have. Yeah, and so the logic behind maximizing the contact, no, I'm going to do it this way. The logic behind maximizing the contact between the log and the cardboard, between the spawn and the cardboard, is you want to minimize the amount of the distance that the mycelium has to travel to the substrate, which in this case is the cardboard. Cover up I think we should cover up the ends first. Still trying to get a feel for this. Cover up the ends. Again, first time doing this, but I've seen people do this before, so hopefully this works. You guys are gonna get to find out as we provide updates in the future. So yeah, we'll cover up the ends. And we'll take this one, this nice layer of cardboard. We'll roll it up real good. That's better. There we are. I think we could probably cover up the ends a little bit more. And we have so much cardboard, so we can make so much of this stuff. I'm not worried about having a shortage of cardboard here.
No,
we have so much, and that's good. This is a great way to use all those, to reuse all of those Amazon boxes. Because we get tons of those in the center, all the boxes from Amazon deliveries and whatnot. Can I get that one? This is a great way to turn them into something, to turn them back into food. I think that's a pretty good for a first one, but I think we can roll it up a little bit tighter next time. All right, there we go. There's a mushroom log. So we're going to start stacking these. Let's find some cardboard to stack them on, or a container. Do we have another container over there?
No, that one's filled with chips.
Yeah, we can just stack them right here and wash them off. Rinse them.
Okay.
All right, so there you go. That's how you make one. We're going to make some more. Really easy.
So are we peeling first layers or no?
We can peel about half of the cardboard, I think.
So just
yeah, just peel it a little bit.
This is good for one.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll just kind of get it to size. And I'm not worried too much about the consistency of the size of these. It's kind of whatever works. Oh, here's a really good piece. That's a really good piece of mycelium right there. That's good stuff. So hopefully these are successful. We'll probably know in about a month.
These are beginning to dry.
Oh yeah. Why don't we keep them in the trash can?
Yeah.
And we'll pick them from the trash can. It all of a sudden got really sunny out this morning.
Oh. Yeah, pressure again.
What's that?
Yeah, pressure.
Oh, neat.
Water.
Yeah, they're probably working on the irrigation system somewhere. There must have been an issue or something. Oh. Yeah, growing mushrooms is very rewarding, and I would say if you want to grow food in an apartment, and that's all you have, even a studio apartment with no balcony, no windows, no nothing, grow mushrooms, because you can grow them in your closet in a 5-gallon bucket. Especially oyster mushrooms, they're very easy to grow, and they can be grown in very small spaces, and you'll get a lot of mushrooms out of each pair. So if you're very space limited, I would highly recommend growing mushrooms. It's probably the ideal thing for those of us who aren't able to have a vegetable garden to grow. So we're going to roll it up nice and tight, just like cinnamon roll. This one might actually be able to use another layer, I'd say. We'll do one more layer here. Now, it looks like we'll be able to get like 6 to 8 of these logs out of the affair, which is cool. And that'll hopefully be enough for us to inoculate basically the entire garden with some to spare. And I'll be getting more spawn too. Like, I have basically an unlimited supply of this stuff. Because once you start one mushroom bed, you have tons of it. Press it down, but not too hard. And the fact that the cardboard is corrugated, I think helps a lot. It's that corrugation like helps to increase the contact, I feel. This is a nice thick one. It's actually coming apart. Oh man. Well, you know, we'll salvage what we can off of this one. I think that's good. I should have stuck with 2 layers on this one, but it's all good. All right. Got all these earwigs in here too. I guess the earwigs love the mushroom beds. That's okay. We're always short on containers here. Yeah, this one is not fully closed. I'm gonna stuff some cardboard in here. Just to get it, like, get some extra protection for these little mushies in here. All right, there we go. With more than that. It's like I've been having trouble rolling up more than that.
Okay, you're back.
Oh, cool, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. My phone keeps overheating. It's like, my phone turns into like a space heater as soon as I start live streaming. Or like a heating element, what have you.
I don't know if you answered Frida's question earlier, but she asked about cool temperatures for mushrooms.
Not these ones. These guys like warm temperatures.
Okay.
But like a lot of mushrooms are cool weather mushrooms, and like they'll fruit once temperatures begin to cool down. But I was able to successfully establish oyster mushroom beds in 100-degree heat. So you can definitely grow mushrooms in like warm temperatures. You know, I just wouldn't expect to get fruit necessarily until it cools down. But yeah, like in fact, the pink oyster mushrooms are a tropical species of oyster mushroom, and they really like the tropical temperatures. It just depends on the species. And see, but it seems like, again, wine caps, for example, the King Stropharia, Paul Stamets' favorite kind, really does not like warm climates as much, at least from my experience, because I tried growing those and only got a couple fruit and they got destroyed by roly-polies. These ones are doing great. The oysters, like they're happy campers in our climate. The Italian oysters specifically. And there are many different kinds of oyster mushrooms, but I know the blue oysters are pretty popular too, and I know the pink oysters are as well. Alrighty, I think that's pretty good for this one. Roll her up.
So if it's 30 degrees, you can't grow it.
It just probably would go dormant if it's 30 degrees out. But you're supposed to want to, for propagating mushrooms, you probably want to do it when it's like between 50 and 80 degrees out. But but a mushroom bed will survive cold temperatures. It just probably would go dormant. It wouldn't fruit. Which is fine, you know, that's the circle of life. Lion King was correct about that. So, let's try it this way this time. I feel like this is something I'll get better at as I do it more. Oh yeah, there we go. New technique unlocked. Just about getting a feel for working with cardboard, I guess. So I'm going to take one more nice big piece and seal this one up. We spent quite some time the other day processing these mushroom, these bits of cardboard for the mushroom logs. All right, there's another one. This is a chonker. And so the extra cardboard around it also has the effect of preventing them from drying out on the inside. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a big like stack of them and then bury them.
I'm gonna move them towards the shade.
Yeah, thanks. And we probably want to open the bags up so they can air out. But you know, like it's not a problem to make varying sizes, but bigger ones obviously, like due to simple physics, will retain moisture better, which is more desirable.
Wait, you want me to open the other mushroom bag?
Yeah, just open it to air it out a little bit. And oyster mushrooms are also very delicious. I have this recipe that I like to make with them. This is a scrambled egg recipe. So take oyster mushrooms, cook them up with some veggies that you like to stir fry. Any veggies really. Okay, here's another one. Yeah, cook these up with some veggies you like to stir fry. Whatever veggies. Then crack some eggs in there. Add some soy or teriyaki sauce and some gochujang sauce, and it's delicious. But yeah, when it comes to the temperature tolerances of whatever mushrooms you're growing, just look it up. It's different for every kind of mushroom. But these Italian oysters seem to be very adaptable, and our daytime highs are in the 50s to 60s right now. This bed that I have going at my other place of work is fruiting like crazy. Definitely gonna need more of this stuff. Yeah, I asked them to save their stem buds for me whenever they grow them, so or wherever they pick their mushrooms. So we'll have plenty to make spawn logs out of, and we're gonna do as many as we can because due to our nematode problem, we want these oysters all over the garden. There's still some labels on here, so I'm going to try and get them off. Go. More spawn. So yeah, we'll be able to make like probably 6 of them, which is a pretty good start. I know exactly where to put them. Now break up that mycelium.
This water's getting dirty. Should I dump it?
Dump it, yeah. Let's dump it into the plant somewhere.
Alright.
Yeah, just take all that cardboard out. From now on, I think we could just wet it with those. It's just a shame how quickly it dries out. It makes it hard. But yeah, typically an outdoor mushroom bed will produce 2 crops per year. One in the fall and one in the spring. And the crop will typically follow cool and moist weather. But this crop that I got these mushrooms from actually began a little bit before we got our range that we just got. So it's a seasonal thing as well. It's not necessarily following rain events. Roll these up as tight as I can, trying not to get the cardboard to come apart, which it is. I'm doing my best here. This is a delicate dance. So I'm gonna get, since I'm having trouble with this one, I'm gonna get a nice thick piece of cardboard.
Oh, Frida asked something. She asked, are mushrooms sensitive to very cool temps?
I already said
answered that.
We are in the 30s over here. Oh.
Yeah, it really
I
depends
got
on
that
the
down, Benelli. Thank you.
Yeah.
We just got
All right,
water
there we go.
plants.
Yes, perfect. Got it. Oh yeah, there we go. That's packed nice and tight. Sweet. Yeah, so this one's just gonna need a side covering as well. Yeah, I think starting with a nice thick piece and ending with a nice thick piece is the move. And kind of wrapping it up like a burrito. I don't know how to wrap a burrito, but I'm trying. It's a bit more difficult than wrapping a burrito. It's a burrito. Mushroom burrito. There we are. So we've got 4 so far. And before we place these in their final location, we're going to give them a good soaking. we're gonna cover these ones up. Right. I feel like putting the corrugated side face down is good because you get lots of contact that way. More spawn. It doesn't seem like the earwigs are really bothering the mushrooms at all, so I'm not concerned about them, like especially the mycelium. And I observed no damage on the fruiting mushrooms that were in these that was in this bed. The same can't be said for when I grew wine caps. Although for you, Frida, wine caps may be a better choice up in Oregon. I know. I think Paul Stamets has his garden up in Oregon, and he grows wine caps. Oh, this one's gonna be good. We're getting a technique down.
Bit by bit.
Bit by bit.
I don't know if that. I just laid that one down.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It's not wet?
Not wet enough.
We'll use this one. Let's just give me a bit of a rinse right here. Oh yeah, this is. And the rest of this cardboard we can lay throughout the garden and use it as a mulch. Fancy. Alright. I really wish I knew how to wrap a burrito. I mean, I've done it before. I just forgot. I've done it like a couple times. There we go. That's it. That's it. I kind of know the basic technique, but the muscle memory is not quite there yet.
Really good piece, right?
Perfect. I think we could do like one or two more.
Are you on the second bag already?
We're on the third bag, so I'm gonna get more this stuff, and we'll just keep propagating it.
Are we allowed to leave the cardboard out here?
We'll need to clean it up.
All right.
I'm gonna use this one as the base. Smell you later, Amazon. You're about to meet your maker. Mycelium. Alrighty. Yeah, the hardest part is like not destroying the cardboard when you wet it, I'd say. And soaking it like in a very organized fashion, like, you know, bundling it up nicely and then soaking it seems to be the way to go. We are almost done with this bag of spawn. Let me see if I can stretch this one to get one more out of it, and then we'll do lucky number 7. I think, is this the one that has the stem butts in it? No, it's not. Here's some stem butts in here. So I'll show you guys a stem butt. See, it's like the end of the mushroom. This is where the mushroom was. We cut it off, right? That's where the mushroom was. We cut it off. And right there's the mycelium sticking out. Oh, you like the King Strophareus? I've never had the chance to try them, unfortunately. Even though I tried growing them, they never really produced well for me. And I wasn't actually able to get like some good quality harvestable mushrooms out of it, unfortunately. But these ones are really good. I know that. But I trust you, Frida.
Oh. Hi, Frida. We miss you.
What's up? Yeah, we miss you, Frida. Yeah, we can do 7. Lucky number 7. I consider 7 to be my lucky number. Roll it up real good. Yeah, we had to put the camera right there
Because of the water.
because of the heat.
Never mind.
Even in this weather. But I think you can come get a close up really quick. I think that'll work.
You're right. Keep on forgetting.
Even in this weather, this phone wants to overheat, which is a shame. All right. Now we need to get a big piece of cardboard. That's
How big
still
do you need it?
saturated and wet. These are just drying out. I didn't realize they dry out this fast.
They do. Especially in the sun.
Yeah, cardboard dries fast. I'm trying not to get in the dirty water too much. I almost feel like we should try and soak these in some clean water. Maybe wrap them up one more time so that they're nice and sturdy, and then soak them in some clean water for a while. Burrito time. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is gonna need to be wrapped again because it seems to want to come apart. This one. There we go. We'll wrap them again. There's number 6. And here's all of our logs. Let's get some nice big thick pieces of cardboard soaking. 6 of them so far. They're already drying out. So that's why it's so important to bury them, and we're going to need to put some irrigation on them. Keep them wet. I will break down this one. So crazy, like cardboard doesn't really soak up water that much, but then it dries so fast. I don't understand that.
You gotta keep what's inside
Yeah,
That's true.
That's probably what it is. I mean, like they probably have some kind of, it's probably like whatever they use for the
Science, am I right?
science. No.
Except when it doesn't, yeah.
Except when it doesn't.
Yeah.
Except what's being used against you.
That's it.
Okay, so let's then soak this. Yeah, that box is perfect. So now we're getting to the point where we're starting to standardize our production process, which is what we need. And yeah, that's a good thing. Like if we're able to establish some really strong mushroom beds here, then we can make a ton of this stuff. Which is great because like mushrooms are awesome. Yeah, and see what I'm doing now is I'm using these ends of it. Then we can soak those. I wish we had more, but alas.
More cardboard?
No, more. No, we have plenty of cardboard. We have enough cardboard to produce this stuff on a large scale industrially. At this point.
I spent all day Monday.
Yeah, all the I think we should preserve like the nice big pieces of cardboard
Okay.
and just find a spot like that's relatively sheltered out in the sun for them to like go in. And like some people actually recommend you sterilize your cardboard before using it, but I think we'll be okay.
Okay. There's some nice pieces like underneath.
What's that?
There's some still good pieces left.
How is the sugar cane looking?
Glad it's all done.
Nice. I want to try some.
Yeah. It looks good.
Now we're gonna have lots of cleanup to do after this, but all in the day's work.
Yeah, stick pan. It's all good.
Until we
Yeah,
don't.
I say we soak the logs a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good at working.
We can use the trash can.
Oh yeah.
I still see air bubbles coming out of this cardboard. This should be pretty good now, though. It's passing the peel test. I mean, it's definitely still... No, it's definitely still dry in there. Man, what is it with cardboard? So yeah, a couple things we've learned from this process. A couple things we've learned so far from doing this. One, it's better to pre-soak your cardboard in a container of some kind as opposed to leaving it out in the rain. Two, start your mushroom log, your spawn log, with a thick layer of cardboard. Then you can layer in thinner pieces. And then three, finish it up with some thick pieces and wrap them up like a burrito and
You want to
treat it like a
rinse?
burrito. Just a little rinse, yeah. Yeah, I think pre-soaking your cardboard is the move, and maybe even pre-soak it in a hydrogen peroxide solution to sterilize it. 'Cause it takes a while for it to fully saturate, and then it drains fast, and then it dries fast. Let's see. This one's pretty good now. But yeah. Lessons learned. Again, this is our first time doing this, but we thought we'd share it with you all. It's supposed to work really well. So, we'll see if it does. And hopefully in about a month or so, we'll have 7 very nice spawn logs we can use to inoculate the wellness garden with everywhere. And basically, we just cut them up into pieces and spread them and spread those pieces out in our beds, and then layer a bunch of wood chips or mulch on top. And there are actually certain beds where we want to actually like have mushrooms be one of the crops.
They're slowly sinking into the ground over there.
Yeah, just be really careful.
Yeah, they're gonna like start unraveling.
They're unraveling?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because they're gonna only fit upright.
What's that?
They're gonna fit this way only if we put them in here.
Are they unraveling in that direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we'll use a tote.
Okay.
We'll stack them like logs in a tote, and then we will do it that way.
Yeah. I'm not sure. But then she will just-
You can grab a watering can and just soak them lightly right now.
Yeah, just maybe spray them down a bit. We're figuring this out as we go. That's how it works sometimes. But I'm sure we'll have some delicious mushrooms at the end of it all. Yeah, see, now that I'm soaking this in the tote, I'm getting great results. I have nice saturated cardboard. Probably one more layer. Use the rest of this for the last layer. It's all just figuring out what works. This one's getting wrapped up now. Roll it up. Lost a little bit of spawn, but that's okay. This one's nice and thick. I need a bigger piece of cardboard.
Keep going.
A little bit more in there.
I need a nice big one.
Oh, I think that's, yeah.
This one gets soaked. Yeah, and then all the nice big pieces of cardboard that are like in good shape, I think those are our best ones to work with. So we'll save those. All the tattered bits, we can compost.
All right.
So I'm gonna soak that.
To the worms.
And then we're gonna wrap it up. And that's it. I think we gotta end the live stream now. Thank you for joining us today, everyone, and bearing with us through this journey as we establish the mushrooms. In the making. There's our 6 logs right there, and we got one more that we're wrapping up. And there will be updates. We'll see how these do. But until then, we'll see you next time. Remember, if you want to ask us any questions about gardening, you can use the Ask a Master Gardener feature on the Magrum Center website, in addition to dropping questions in the chat. But we're going to close it out now. So see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Later.
Yeah, they